How are you doing? Groundhog Day. Every day's the same. It's amazing. It's amazing. Why lockdown? Security versus freedom. Your freedoms for the security. It's a tension that has been around for a long time, since mankind started out on the earth, and history shows that. That's what I want to talk about today. Before I do, if you're watching, please subscribe, like, hopefully you'll like it, and share with friends. Today I want to use there's a lot of scriptures actually in the New Testament where Jesus spoke about freedom. And one of the ones I want to pick today is John chapter 8 verses 31 and 32. He said this, he said, "Continue in my word." So there has to be a basis for a social contract, for an agreement between people that will do this and do that. When I did my Master in Business Law, that's what you study, and there are laws and there are regulations, and that's why we have various tiers of government and the police, etc., to make sure that that social contract with its liberties and its securities is balanced and is held in place. Once we know the word and have something to build on, Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." So mankind is actually designed for freedom, not for bondage. You know, part of the reason Christ died on the cross was to set us free from the bondage of sin, so that we could not only live, but live to a good, live to good causes, live for the right reasons, be forgiven of the past. I've spoken about that in the past, so I won't get sidetracked with that at the moment. Jesus was radical. He wasn't just a good teacher. Actually, it's what he said about himself that either pissed people off or they loved him. And he really did upset a lot of people. He proclaimed himself to be things that absolutely offended them. And that's why sometimes the stories of Jesus are so offensive to some people. Then he was resurrected from the dead. And that became the basis of the start of Christianity. Not a book. The Bible wasn't even written. It was the resurrection of Jesus Christ. History is full of this tension of security and freedom. In church history, we see it in the way different churches started out of the main church. The Catholic Church wasn't always the mother church. It sort of came into being and developed, and then it had indulgences and was corrupt and developed certain things. A lot of good people in it, yes, but they used security for protecting, the things of the past or the teachings, the sacred teachings. And what happened was they took away people's freedoms. And that's when a lot of the sects, the Baptist sect, the Pentecostal sect, and things came out of that, the Protestant sect. And it was really with a desire for freedom. Just like today, we see governments taking away the freedoms of people, all for the sake of security of health. Sorry to say this, but it's bullshit. Just look at the worldometer, look at the figures. It's a lockdown that doesn't make sense. England's history is interesting with the Magna Carta in the 13th century, where the king was put under the same law as the people, so the leader was not above the people. Yet in this lockdown, leadership has exalted itself to a place where actually if you don't obey the lockdown, we'll make it go longer. Gee, that reminds me of being back at school. What about you? It's amazing that we've swallowed it hook, line and sinker. I worked in a hospital, we've let medical people be in control of where we're going instead of our own brains and our own wisdom and our own sense of faith in the gift and the calling of God and the plan of God. Today this tension is in full flight. Make no mistake about it. It's a con job of the highest magnitude. Mistakes were made at first. I got a good mate here. He's an interesting guy, and we talk quite a bit now. But he's sort of been very fascinated with some of the conspiracies and things that are behind it. And it's very good information, revealing information. Whatever your information is, I believe there is a Satan. So that's clear. The Bible speaks about that. And that evil, that working to always undermine, the freedom of man, it's always there. It comes out in government forms, it comes out in various ways, just like a bad spirit can infect people, and it uses their body to make them do dumb things. Yeah, it's still done in many ways. Politicians seem to have got caught in that circle at this time. Don't tell them I said that. Leaders are eroding our civil liberties. God has said you'll know the truth and the truth will set you free. We're called to freedom. The Bible says that. It's the white pill in this season. I'm sorry to say this, but look at Sweden and look at some of the things. This is just a lot of bullshit going on to get control, to take away your freedom. Hold on to your freedom. Speak up. I know there's only a certain amount of things we can do. If civil disobedience becomes part of the plan, then for the sake of my family, I'm prepared to do it, and I hope you would be too, if it's very necessary. I wouldn't say it's necessary at the moment, but the way it's going, if some people will go a bit stupid and things will happen. Keep your head sound and realise that God has called you to freedom, and freedom will come at some point, no matter how. You can't stop it because man is designed for that. God bless you. Don't be shortchanged. Don't let Groundhog Day ground you down. There's hope is at the end of the tunnel, so keep hanging in there. God bless you. Take care.